Okay, now we've got our frame by frame animation, we're going to start looking at adding more layers. Okay, so other layers are basically different images. Each image should be on a different layer so that you can move them independently, but layers work slightly differently. So in here we've got the fish layer. I'm going to click the little plus button right at the bottom to add a new layer. Now what you should notice is that it's blank there. So it's got the dot, but it's see-through. That means that there is a keyframe there and there's nothing on that layer. The blank area there without the dots on basically means it will take that frame and it will keep that frame going for the whole time. So I'm going to rename that frame Bubbles. I'm going to get my tool, I'm going to get a nice shiny blue silk colour. In fact, I might use that one. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 bubbles. Okay, now what you'll notice, that's now gone grey. So that's gone grey to say, actually, whatever I do here, I'm going to keep that going from that keyframe across. So my fish moves, but my bubbles just stay where they are. If I move my bubbles at any point up to there, because that keyframe is controlling them, the bubbles will stay there for the whole time. What I want to do now is adding keyframes. So if I go to the second bit, right click, insert keyframe, that will allow me to move the bubbles on this dot as well. So I'm going to move them up a little bit. Okay, so now they jump up and then they stay the same because it's pulling that information into those frames. Next one, insert keyframe. Let's pull them up a bit. Again, it will stay the same. Start moving, stay the same. Insert keyframe. Sorry, move them, so I'm going to insert another keyframe. So let's start to bubble about. Insert another keyframe. I'm just going to do this really quickly. Not the most exciting bit of the video, is it? That way. Insert keyframe. This way. You'll also notice, hopefully, that when I do an insert keyframe, when I select them, if I select any other, that fish, that will come off as well, it will select it. But an easy way to do that is just to click on the frame that you're on and it will select just what's on that frame. So now we've got two separate layers. The fish layer, where the fish goes across. If I get rid of that, you can see it. And then the bubble layer, where the bubbles go up. They're on separate layers. It's really important you put things on separate layers. Now if they were to touch each other, okay, on this last keyframe, let's just get that fish and move it on. You'll notice the fish is behind the bubbles. If you wanted the bubbles to be behind, it's whatever is on top of that list is higher up. So if I click on the fish, drag it above, the fish goes in front. Okay, I'm going to undo that because I don't want them to jump in front. So now I have got an animation frame by frame, but it has 2 layers on it. Okay, I can keep adding more and more layers and putting them in different areas. The vital thing to remember with layers is anything you want new or a background to animate, each object should be on a separate layer. It's not so bad when you're frame by frame animating, but when you're doing tween animation, which we're about to do, we're going to do next after you've added your second layer in, it will break the animation. Okay, so first job, have a go at adding another layer and animating that with your fish, and then we're going to look at, in the next guide, tween animation.